This Easter season is filled with stories of joy, to be sure. Stories of Christ's appearances after his resurrection, and it coincides always in our part of the world with the coming of spring. So there is a certain joyfulness to this season. It's curious then that this is our gospel reading for this fifth Sunday of Easter, because it's something that happened at the Last Supper. And we get this reading so that we might try to hear with the ears of the disciples what really is the message that Jesus wants to leave as he leaves them. It is a time when we can feel sympathy, empathy for these poor disciples. After all, this little gang followed him along for probably 3 years. And it's been a long journey through the countryside and kind of a slow journey. And all of a sudden, a whole bunch of things happen. And the pace of the story picks up for Jesus and his disciples. It begins really with the raising of Lazarus from the dead. That Jesus comes and brings a man who has been in the grave back to life. So imagine being one of the disciples when that happens. Is that not kind of breathtaking? I mean, they may have been following this guy along for all this time, and they may have witnessed some really fine things like changing water into wine and restoring the sight to a blind man, but this is breathtaking, that he would bring a dead man back to life. And immediately after that, he has the supper in Bethany where Mary anoints his feet with oil, and he says, she's anointing my body for burial. And imagine the disciples being there and hearing that, and the reality of that. Because it is, on the one hand, such a dark prediction, and such a despairing one. And then the next day they go on that entry into Jerusalem, and all the people come out, and they hail him as their king, and the disciples go along with that, but they themselves are carrying this unease, this sense of anxiety that has begun to grow in them when they have come to realize that Christ is something more than even they imagined. And not only that, but that something dark is going to happen. They go into the temple, and John, is there for a brief amount of time teaching. And immediately after that, they have the Last Supper. And the Last Supper begins, the beginning of this chapter, with the washing of feet for John. Jesus goes around on his knees and washes all the feet of all of his disciples. And they're just, imagine being there. They've just put up with all this other stuff, this cast them at sea. They've begun to get a sort of sense of foreboding of what is about to happen. Then he does this really odd thing of washing all their feet and telling them to wash each other's feet. And then he says, one of you is going to betray me. And they say, who is going to betray me? And he says, the one who I give this bread to will betray me. Imagine how the disciples felt. They didn't know who was going to betray them. Maybe even Judas didn't know who was going to betray him. So he dips the bread in the wine and he gives it to Judas and he says, go and do what you need to do. And Judas immediately gets up and leaves. Well, what did the disciples sort of think of that? And there is this sense of simple awe of the magnitude of all of these things happening, and them not being able to understand what they all mean. And then he says to them, today's gospel reading. Now, he says, the Son of Man is glorified. Glorified. And in the Son of Man, God is glorified. Glorified, brought to glory. Now that the final act has been set in motion with Judas's departure, with his going off, with the betrayer, the deepest, darkest betrayal ever has just begun. Now, Jesus will be glorified. Now God is glorified. This betrayal that begins this evening leads directly to the cross. And it's the cross in which God is glorified. And these disciples are saying, whoa, what does that mean? What does it mean that I'm glorified by an act of betrayal? And then he says in today's reading, I'm leaving you now. And where I'm going, you can't come. And then he says, little children, I give you a new commandment. Love one another. And as I have loved you, and by your love for one another, people will know that you are my followers. And immediately after this reading today, Paul says to him, or Peter says to him, we're not going to betray you, we're going to stick with you. And Jesus says to him, oh yeah, 3 times you'll betray me before tomorrow morning. And so today's reading is blanketed by these enormous acts of betrayal. Here we are, we've been dragging along with him for all this time, we think we're onto something good, and suddenly one of us becomes a betrayer, and then the chief of us is told that he will be a betrayer as well. And in the middle of this sits a new commandment I give you, that you love one another. This is how you will know, how the world will know that you are my followers. Those disciples who are filled now, at this moment, with uncertainty, with anxiety, with fear, with being totally disoriented by all that has happened in the last couple of days, by this sense of foreboding, by fear of what might happen to them. In the midst of all of that, Jesus says, I have one commandment that matters, that you love one another. It reminds me of a person I know who was dying and whose family gathered around, and she said to them, all I care about is that you love one another. These are the final words of Jesus in that sense, as he is lying dying and his disciples are gathered around him. And the one thing, the new commandment, the one thing, which of course is not new, he said it before, it's been said before in the Bible, but the one thing he wants them to do is to love one another. Not be faithful, not be heroic, not do magnificent acts, just love one another. He knows the the complexity of what's going on in their lives, just like he knows the complexity of our own lives. He knows our own anxieties and fears and uncertainties. And he has one thing to say to us in the midst of all of that. In the midst of all of it. It's not be faithful, be strong, be brave and courageous, do wonderful things. It is love one another. There is a centrality to love in the Christian message because, as he says, that's how we will be known, because we are a community that loves one another. That is not to say that love is ever easy. It's not a light task to take on. You know that. You've tried to love in all sorts of ways. You know how hard it is. But the point is that it's the commandment. It is the calling, the one identifying point, the touchstone to which we are always to come back every day, to the touchstone of love. That's our central identity. Because Christ has loved us, and in our loving, we encounter Christ and give Christ again and again. It's the one thing to hold on to, even though you know you can't hold on to it. You look for a safe place to stand in this world. You look for a strong sense of your own self-identity. You look for a cause to believe in. You look for a job that's secure, a marriage that will last. All of that is sand on which a house is built. The one thing you return to over and over is to open your heart and hear Christ speaking to you through the other. And that is love. In the end, all that Jesus has to say to us is love one another. Amen.
Amen.